I think we should all show off about the conditions in which we saw our latest film, Tully, because we've all had preview screenings.
We have.
And where did we see it?
Better one.
Where did we see it?
Tribeca Film Festival in New York.
Bums. Well, Izzy and I were very privileged this evening because we were part of an invited audience at the Picture House Central in London with reviewers and actors and all sorts of people there. So.
Okay, well, we're looking at Tully, which is the latest film by Jason Reitman, who is most famous for Juno, starring Charlize Theron. She was also a producer on it.
Really?
And it also stars Mackenzie Davis, who we really like from Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah.
The latest Blade Runner. It's a film about a mum and her having her third child. And it's sort of a portrait, I'd say, isn't it? A profile of her life at the point that she has that child, the support network or not of her husband, the stresses of her 2 other young children, etc. And it follows the process of her coming to terms with the new arrival.
Well, I absolutely loved the trailer, and I was actually quite moved by the trailer. I got a bit tearful at points because I thought, wow, this is going to be a fabulous portrait of what it is like. You know, the real nitty-gritty of what it is to be a parent. And Charlize Theron looked brilliant in it, and there was some funny lines in it, so it was a fantastic trailer. So I was expecting a full-on fabulous time at the cinema.
I liked the look of the trailer. I didn't think too deep into it because I'm not a mum.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it looked really good and she looked great. I really wanted to see it, especially because it was the same people as Juno.
I think I was just thinking because when Juno came out, I was like the same age as the people in Juno, so it felt like that was really me. And I know I'm not the same age as Charlize Theron, but I feel like I'm a similar age to the night nanny or whatever it's called.
I'd say your target demographic.
Yeah, but then also being a woman and at an age where potentially be thinking about what it would realistically mean to have a baby. I felt already twinges of like I could quite.
And I think we expect a certain amount from Charlize Theron.
I was going to say,
so I think that's the big
Theron.
I loved her in Mad Max, and I was really excited to see her in a different role.
Yeah, it's very different.
Were we convinced? Were we taken away?
As the only mother in the room.
Yes.
Oh my God, there was so much of it that resonated, good and bad. Those moments when that baby latched on and snuggled it into the breast, and those sounds made me want to cry at the memory of that absolute.
Those were the bits that made me feel sick.
Joy of it, the joy, just like, and also the horrors of it, and her walking around in this fog, this brain fog of. Well, it's torture, isn't it? I mean, we know that they use sleep deprivation as a torture. So I felt like I was literally inhabiting that world again. So that was really, really powerful.
I liked its initial drawing and setting of the scene. I liked the sort of everydayness of the house. I liked the family. I thought it was very natural. I liked the way in which she was dealing with her child with some sort of condition where she had to sort of stroke his skin with a brush and I loved the in-laws. Loved the scenes with the in-laws. Yeah, I love the in-laws.
I think it needed a bit more humour, and there could have been a bit more. It was there a bit, but I think just a bit of light relief there.
I wasn't too sure about the beginning. I didn't feel I was quite settling into it.
Okay.
But once I carried on watching it and I understood the brushing of the skin, it kind of it was a bit better. I really loved the family's connection. I thought it was really realistic and genuine. I loved the little girl.
Yes.
She was so
I wanted more
funny.
of her actually.
But you know, all of the breastfeeding bits where her boobs are hurting, I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
Like actually hurt. Like when she's touching it, she's like, I loved that montage of the sleepless
I thought
nights.
That was really
fabulous
brilliant.
montage.
And
when
how
we
was
going
it
back to those days?
Yeah, that first scene was a bit like too confusing to like access.
Which one?
Which scene?
Where
Brushing.
she's just brushing his skin.
That's strange. I didn't find that confusing at all.
Well,
I
I was
liked
like, oh, this is a bit kooky. Like,
Or maybe you just,
Well,
maybe it's
it
just
was
because
a
I know
strange
that's the
beginning.
thing used for autistic and
see,
high
I don't know.
anxiety
I
children.
Do you know what I
that.
liked? If you're dropped into any family and you watch the everyday activities that are normal to that family, it would be bizarre.
I definitely felt maybe the first like 5 different scene changes felt a bit there wasn't enough space. Like the car journey like felt too crowded, and then we were in another scene, and then we were in another scene. I felt like it felt a bit too much too quickly, and I felt like
I think possibly why that might be good was because that's what life feels like.
Yeah.
It's just this when you've got babies and where it's just like literally like you're like the cards are stacking up.
It just put a bit of distance between me and her for a while, and maybe that was important because then you grew to know her. I felt like I had more of a connection weirdly with like the dad and like the children for her because of all of that.
Do you think that's because she was very disconnected and distracted because she wasn't really present because she was so tired and she was so careworn?
I thought it was one of the best representations of the relentless, repetitious barrage of parenting requirements.
I can't think of anything that's ever
but also there's an ever sort of illustrated it in a way that you're right, it did hit us too quickly and it was a little disorientating. It's like, hang on, I'm getting used to that. I'm getting, for me, the scene that really did the same thing for me, where I was kind of like, well, what's going on? This is all moving very fast, was where she lost it in the car with the boy behind her.
Yeah,
I thought that was an incredibly powerful. I mean, I was close to tears at that point because it made me rethink every set of circumstances every mother has been in.
It was held very quickly. It's rather like if it was a war movie, would be straight into that.
I think that was the purpose of the brother and the sister-in-law as well, because they were saying, but they also back referenced the fact that she clearly had a breakdown and suffered problems with the other. Was there much to identify with as a teenager?
No, but I don't think you have to identify with it to enjoy it. No. I still enjoyed it, and I thought, even though I don't know what it's like to be a mom or to go through any of that, I thought she played it really well. From how I would expect it to be like I know it jumped quite quickly into, I agree with you, into like her shouting at the kid in the car, but I thought she did it beautifully because you could really sense that she just needed that help and that she didn't know how to like get it.
I really was, on the journey with it, loving the film, and then though I did think it could have done with a bit more humour, and then this character Tully, Mackenzie Davis, came in, and in the first scene or two I loved her, and then I started to despise her. The character, not the actress. Love the actress. God, isn't she beautiful? And I just got really irritated by her. And then the twist I found infuriating at the end. I hated the twist.
Why?
I don't know, it just really made me cross. I felt cheated somehow. Isn't that funny?
Oh my god.
No, but Maddie, I'm telling you my
I'm just surprised
response
that
to
you
it.
feel like
I'm
that.
surprised also, but because I love a twist.
I cried at the twist.
I found the twist
really
convincing.
cried at the twist.
I found the twist really...
No, I didn't cry, but
I found it really moving. I thought the twist was a great twist.
And
I found it absolutely heartbreaking.
I know.
It's one of those rare occasions in a film where it immediately made me rerun all the scenes they had together in my head.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart.
It might be one of those films that over the next couple of days that I will actually like that twist.
The Mackenzie's character was almost my in with like, okay, I'm kind of at that level of like my life. It really made me think about future me or my mum or you, and like think about the women, the older women in my life and the younger women in my life, and like what might I lose, what might I gain.
When you think back now to that sex scene where we were so shocked, we were
I know,
just horrified.
I hated it. I was like, oh no,
yeah.
I know.
Well, we can't spoiler on that, but it's fascinating. It was fascinating.
It's a fascinating moment.
Actually, now we're talking about it.
No,
I think I love the twist.
But you see, for that scene, that particular scene in question, where I felt most of discomfort in the whole film.
And I was like, why are you doing that?
There were so many loyalties and issues, and I was hating him, and then
hating her.
And then suddenly, when I got to the end, I've got goose pimples thinking about it. And when you reflect on what was actually happening, you think this is heartbreaking.
Now that I'm thinking about that very particular scene, I think it's one of those stories and one of those films that I need to settle with.
Because the one scene that I cried at was the last one with the her and the boy have a little moment together, and I just cried at that because I was like the struggle in the moment, and that's like we hadn't got many of those like moments with the children and stuff. Like it was kind of because I was like, oh, I don't want to have kids now, that's making me not want to have kids, and then that moment I was like, that's why you would like that's the motivation.
But I think I love the twist.
Oh right, so you've done a complete...
Now I'm thinking more about it. I was a bit thrown and I was a bit I felt cheated, but actually I liked the twist.
I thought the very irritating nature of Mackenzie Davis's character was right on point. I thought she was
Yeah.
meant to be bloody irritating. She was, these perfectly made.
Yeah.
What she was showcasing was the ideal that Charlize Theron wanted to
Charlize
achieve.
Theron actually says you're wild child, free spirit, bollocks.
I mean, I found myself wanting more of the husband, more of the children, and actually, strangely, more of the wonderful brother and sister-in-law, but also the headmistress and the chap who worked in the office, who delivered me two of the most hysterical
Don't even
laughs.
touch me, Alan.
I wasn't going to.
Because I feel if you're given too much of a character you like at the end of a film,
Yes.
you wouldn't have ended up liking them because you would have had too much
Totally
of them.
agree.
So I thought it was just the right amount.
For me, the twist in this film made me want to immediately see it again. I
think I need to see it again. I need to see it again, and I want to think about it more because I do, as I say, everything you're all saying, I am actually agreeing with you and going, actually, yeah, it was fantastic.
I wanted to say, just quickly about the husband, because often in these kinds of films about a woman taking care of children, I often find myself naturally kind of getting annoyed at his lack of part of it, but I just didn't feel that with this guy.
Isn't that funny? I got so bloody irritated by
Me
him.
too. You kept
Yeah,
going
no,
on
you
I thought-
you
but in
had
a sense-
that irritation, but I still liked it.
Oh no, I liked it.
That's what I mean.
Oh yeah, no, you're
But
absolutely right. I
It's
did
how
like
do
him,
you,
yeah.
and I think that's quite an art to have
That is
got
an
us
art, actually.
into still
Yeah.
liking him. We could still see why she loved him and wanted to stay with him, but we were still irritated with some of his behaviour.
What do we think the scores on the doors will be for Tully?
I think I went in with two great expectations. I was expecting way too much, but it was actually a brilliant film. I will give it 8.5.
I thought it was really emotional and it had some funny bits in there. I thought it delivered every element. And although I'm not a mum, and I can't relate to any of the things she went through, I really believed her performance, and I believe that it rang true to what it actually feels like. I think I'm gonna go with probably a 9.
Yeah, I'd give it 9. Even a 9.5 for me. It just felt, maybe it's also I just feel like it was the right film for me to see right now.
I'd say it's a really important film for men to see, and I think it's quite telling that it's directed by a bloke and written by a woman, because I think that gives us access points in as a man. And so it really was an eye-opener for me, and also a lot of it was very familiar. I personally thought it was a work of quiet genius. Yeah. I thought it was very low-key, I thought it was purposefully low-key. I'm probably gonna not go quite to 9, I'm gonna go with your score, I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Well done, Tully.
For more film and family fun, don't forget to click the subscribe button and make sure to click the bell to never miss an update.